Do you ever feel like a huge relief when you drop your children off to school after a chaotic morning at home? Have you noticed when you're particularly tired or not feeling well, our children just tend to misbehave, and what seems to be on purpose? And you just can't help yourself but think, they just know when I'm having a bad day and they just push my buttons on purpose. In this video, I will give you a few tips on how to make parenting a little bit easier when you're having a bad day. So, do our children really know how to push our buttons? Reality is that our brain is like a supercomputer. So whatever you think, whatever you believe, will then dictate how you feel and how you act. So if you wake up in the morning not feeling great, tired, but then you see your children as noisy, attention-seeking, annoying, this is what then tends to happen. Number one, you see your children through a negative lens, and then you end up feeling negatively about them. Number two, you project this negativity and irritability. And number three, thanks to a mirror neurons that we all have, your children quickly pick up on your attitude very quickly. And guess what? Once their behavior turns, your whole day turns into chaos. Does that sound familiar? And yes, you heard it right. Your children's behavior changes not because they want to push your buttons, but because they're simply wired that way. We all are. This is just how human brains work. So how can we start even a bad day better? Tip number one. So when you wake up, look at yourself in the mirror, smile to yourself and say, good morning. So right now, I want you to smile for 5 seconds. Have you noticed what happened there? So when we smile, we actually produce endorphins, and they make us feel happier and feel better inside. So when we smile, we come across as nicer people, and we actually are less likely to be harsh to others. And number two, it's affirmations. Whether you like them or hate them, I can tell you one thing. Morning affirmations have really transformed my days in my house. You can say them to yourself in the mirror, you can quietly say them to yourself in your head, or you can even write them down, whatever works best for you. These are the typical things that I would say to myself. I'm a good mum. I'm a good person. I love myself. I love my children. They're still very little and they're still learning. They're doing just what they should be doing at their age. When things are tricky, this is only because they can't do better just yet. And it is my job to help them. Tip number three is draw a smile on the back of your hand. That's what works for me, but you can come up with anything that works for you, anything that will remind you of those affirmations throughout the day. So when things do get tricky during the day, you can look at it and remember what you've said to yourself in the mirror. I really encourage you to try these simple tricks. They will help you to see your children in a more positive way, with love and care, just the way you looked at them when they were little tiny babies. So this was a step 1 video on managing children on your bad day. In my next video, we'll move to step 2, where I'll teach you how to communicate to your children about having a bad day. Thanks for watching.